Hi, welcome to our webcast Innovators Studio, live from the innosabi office in Munich. Today's edition in English. I hope you enjoy. In this webcast, we want to give you an introduction to the principles of crowdsourced innovation and what it means to be agile in a corporate innovation process. This webcast will approximately last for 20 to 30 minutes, depends on how quick or slow I talk. And of course, afterwards, you'll find the recording as well as the slides on our webpage. So in case you're not able to stay for the whole time, or in case you want to recommend it for your friends or colleagues, feel free to send or watch our recording afterwards. Before we start into the topics and methods, I want to quickly introduce myself. I am Catharina van Delden. I'm the founder and CEO of innosabi. I'll give you a quick introduction of who we are as a company later on after we talk a bit about the methods. Right now, about myself, I've always been an innovation enthusiast. I've been dealing with innovation my whole life in my studies at the TU Munich and as well in the US in Berkeley. Apart from my work at innosabi, I'm a member of the Presidial Committee at Bitkom, which is the largest association of the IT industry in Germany. The reason we talk about agility in innovation processes and the reason we talk about crowdsourced innovation today is that business as we know it is completely changing in the times of digital transformation. Digital transformation for large corporations mainly means that the complete market environment changes, that there are new competitors, that all of a sudden they're competing with digital companies that they've not been competing before. So for example, a bank might now be competing with Google, which they have not had on the competitive landscape before. And what that means is that they have to make quicker decisions than ever before. And they have to learn quicker, iterate quicker, come quicker to prototypes and to first minimum viable products, and as well incorporate customer feedback and learnings much quicker than ever before. But as you know, the traditional structures of a large corporations usually do not reflect this kind of working or do not reflect this kind of this style of decision making. And this is why large corporations have to adapt to principles that we know from software development, from principles that have long been around in software development and now have to be transferred to corporate processes. And these principles are called agility. So that means to incorporate customer feedback very quickly, to be open for external knowledge, to work in a collaborative way, and most of all, to do it in a digital platform and a digital way. So we at innosabi, we take these principles and we transfer them to innovation processes, to the creation of new products and services of a large corporation. And that is especially important because agility, of course, is important for the whole corporation, but mainly it is important for the creation of new products and services, because if you are not quick enough in your innovation speed, you're not able to compete with these new type of competitors in the market. So if we take the principle of agility and transfer it to a corporate innovation process, we at innosabi call this crowdsourced innovation. Crowdsourced innovation is a word that comes from crowdsourcing, meaning to divide a task and bring it to a large crowd of people over the internet, and open innovation, meaning to open up an innovation process for the knowledge of externals, so for people who were not involved in the innovation process before. So, crowdsourced innovation. This approach is really true along the whole innovation process, starting from the creation of ideas, identification of search areas, going to the concept of the basic new product and service, to the testing of the service or product, up to market entry. And all of these steps do not only happen inside a corporate R&D department or a corporate innovation department anymore. They do not only happen inside the walls of a large corporation behind many closed doors and a high level of secrecy. These processes now are happening in collaboration with the whole ecosystem of a company, with all the stakeholders that are relevant to a company. So that means to suppliers, to universities, to customers, to even employees who are not involved in this process before. And crowdsourced innovation really means for each step of this innovation process, to find the relevant stakeholder who has the relevant knowledge to solve a problem in this area much quicker than ever before, than if you would do it in the old-fashioned way, which meaning just a very few people with a lot of secrecy, no collaboration. So now we've been talking about quite a lot of high-level methods and ideas. We've talked about lots of almost philosophical changes in the world of business. We've talked about how digital transformation is having an impact of how businesses create new products and services. But I know that for applying these principles to your own questions, for applying it to your own business, you need to know about case studies. You need to know about how other corporations are dealing with these questions and how are they solving the need for speed in their industry. This is why I brought you 5 examples from very different industries and also very different use cases to kind of illustrate how these principles are working. And of course, feel free after this webcast to contact us to discuss how the principle of crowdsourced innovation can work in your industry, on your context. The first example I brought to you today comes from the banking industry. It's the Postbank, which is daughter of Deutsche Bank, who for now has been, for quite a long time already, has implemented the so-called Postbank Ideenlabor, the Postbank Idea Lab, which is a platform where they invite customers, but as well as non-customers, and basically everybody who's interested in the world of financial innovation, to collaborate on Postbank's new products and services. But this is not only true for completely new ideas. This is also basically they ask for feedback, for input, for collaboration on many things that are relevant to the customer. So it could be a new interface of the online banking, and they do usability tests on that. It could be a cooperation with the startup, and they evaluate together with the community how this cooperation really should take place and how it could bring the most value to the customer. Or they, independent of the platform, they conducted a hackathon, but of course it's kind of mirrored on the platform what is happening in the hackathon. So the Postbank Idea Lab really is the central platform for collaboration around all new products and services of Postbank. And that also includes the employees of Postbank. So everybody at Postbank is invited to participate as well. This has been a huge success because there's several thousands of people participating regularly. I think that is incredible for a product that is really in its core, let's say, not as emotional as a consumer product, for example. But many people who are on the platform participate because they see it as their social responsibility to kind of change the financial world for good. And I think that is really coming down to the motivation of participants, which should always be intrinsic. Participants in crowdsourced innovation in general, of course, not only at Postbank, should participate in this kind of platform because they want to change things, they want to influence, they want to bring their ideas to life. They should not participate because they want to, let's say, win a prize or earn some prize money. So the motivation should really be intrinsic for the best results and also for the long-term commitment of the community. A last insight about the Postbank Idea Lab before we move on to the next example. What I especially like is that Postbank has implemented an own KPI, which they call the hooray factor. This is derived from Postbank's definition of innovation, which they say innovation is when the market screams hooray. And for that reason, they have implemented the hooray factor as a measurement in the platform and now use this factor when evaluating new products and ideas inside Postbank. So when an idea does not reach a certain hooray factor, they are not moving on. They're iterating the concept until it does reach a certain hooray factor. And I just love this concept, of actually bringing the voice of the customer and the voice of externals into the decision-making process. The next case study I brought comes from the chemical industry. It's Bayer. Bayer has also already a couple of years ago, realized that because there's such a large organization with so many divisions, many problems are solved in different parts of the organization twice, in a different context, of course. So let's say the researchers from the medical department are solving a certain problem, and the researchers from the fertilization department are solving a similar problem. But if these people would have known about that they have a similar problem beforehand, they could have collaborated and saved a lot of time and effort, and therefore could have been much more efficient in solving this problem. So having realized this, Bayer has implemented a platform that they call WeSolve, in order to do exactly that, to bring together these type of people who have similar questions or who have a question that has been solved before in a different context, to bring them together to solve problems much faster than before. But what they've realized is that, yes, of course, goal number one, being more efficient, I'll switch to Spanish in a second, I'm sorry. Todo bien, all worked well, and they solved the problem. But what they have realized is that as a second factor, they also somehow changed the innovation culture at the company, because all of a sudden, the silos inside the organization started working together. They started to collaborate more. They started seeing the benefits of sharing information. So what this platform has really been a part of is a transformation, a cultural shift inside Bayer. So this is what they have taken as a basis to further develop the platform into a much larger vision. The third case study I brought to you comes from the airport in Munich. And this is really a case study that I find really interesting because it bases on a very traditional system, which is the traditional system of idea management, which especially in German companies is required to have. You are required to have a system to kind of listen to to the ideas of employees and to take them into further action, and that is why it's recommended required to reward the participating employees on their ideas and on the benefits they brought to the company. But these types of idea management systems in the past have not been very loved by organizations. Typically, the problems that come up are they don't have enough participations, the ideas that are submitted are not innovative enough, and also it usually creates quite a huge effort to evaluate these ideas and to move them further along in the process and to bring them to implementation. And the airport in Munich has realized that, yes, this process is somewhat difficult and people don't really like it. And on the other hand, they have to have it. And so they've realized that this is really the opportunity to, once they have implemented this system in a way that people do like it and then they do collaborate, that it's a good starting point to further develop this concept into a collaborative and open approach. So I like to call it like the onion approach. No? You need to have the starting point, and then from there open up more and you add more use cases to the crowdsourced innovation methodology. So the airport in Munich has done exactly that. They started with idea management, and now they are opening it up more and more to more stakeholders, to more use cases, to more innovation projects, and they're doing that in a very successful way. The next case study I brought to you, we call it the Supercharge Feedback, and one company using it very successfully is Allianz. But I want to talk to you not about exactly that case study, but I want to talk to you about the methodology and the use case in general. So the last examples we heard all have their own platform where they invite their own community to participate. So the people who register on the platform have somehow heard of the platform, have somehow been invited by the company, and have registered on the platform knowingly that it is a platform of Bayer, Postbank, or the airport in Munich. But sometimes companies want to get feedback that is not influenced by the knowledge of the brand or the industry. They want to get very quick and uncomplicated feedback. They don't want to build their own community, but they want to use the knowledge of a large crowd. And that's what we call the supercharged feedback. So inside in a crowdsourced innovation platform, there could be an API, a connection to already existing communities. And in innosabi's platform, these communities are of 2 million people. And with the Crowd Supercharger, companies can reach out to these 2 million people in minutes, hours, and get feedback extremely quickly. And that could be on many different contexts. It could be on usability tests of digital prototypes. It could be just about getting to know habits and needs and how people actually deal with products, what kind of problems they have. Or it could be things like online research. Companies could ask the Crowd Supercharger, please do research of all the startups that exist in a certain trend or innovation area. So whenever it is not necessary to have a long-term relationship with an innovation community, but it's more necessary to get extremely quick and uncomplicated feedback, then the Crowd Supercharger is the way and the tool to do so. The last use case is one that I've mentioned in all the others actually as well, but this one is very straightforward. It's about prototype testing. And the Bundesagentur für Arbeit, which is the federal agency for employment in Germany, is using it in a really ideal way. Of course, especially in an institution like the Bundesagentur für Arbeit, is looking how to digitalize their services and their offerings. And they're creating amazing tools, like, for example, an app for people who are seeking education about their work. In German, we call them Azubis. And right now, I'm not finding the English word for that. Maybe you can write me later on, and I have a small English lesson from you. This app really helps people who are seeking education about their employment, Azubis. They find them to match them with companies who offer exactly these places to do so. And this kind of application, of course, they could just hire some developers, implement their own ideas, and then kind of see how people are reacting to it. But the Bundesagentur für Arbeit is using an approach that makes these kind of applications, these kind of new services so much more successful. They invited people who are supposed to use the app very early on to kind of talk about what kind of features they need, how it should be, how the processes should work, what kind of benefits they want from this kind of app. And in the whole process, they also use the community to test prototypes, to actually test the prototype. So if you had a browser, with the innovation community, you could basically a visualization of a smartphone popped up, and you could use the app as if you were using it on your smartphone, even though you were using it in the browser of your computer. And this is how they tested usability and functionality of the app. And this app is actually right now available and is quite a huge success. So the Federal Agency for Employment shows how important it is, especially in the development of digital products and services, to quickly get user feedback and to quickly incorporate it into the development process, and not just develop an app and then kind of, when it's in the App Store, see if people like it or not. But it really has to be a collaborative process much early on. And for the collaboration around digital prototypes, of course, a digital community works especially well. But companies like, for example, Kärcher have shown that it works exactly as well with offline prototypes. So basically sending out, in the example of Kärcher, sending out cleaning devices to people who can then test them and give their feedback on the device. So prototype testing does not only focus on digital and online prototypes, but of course on offline prototypes as well. So now I've shown you quite many examples from very different industries, and especially I focus on the different types of use cases, like idea management, prototype testing, supercharged feedback, seeker-solver principles in the solution scouting, or an innovation community. For all these use cases and all the companies I've just mentioned, they're based on one technology. That's the innosabi crowd platform. The innosabi crowd platform really is the digital home for innovation for companies. It's possible to have all the use cases we just talked about on one single platform, on one technology. And this is why we call it a digital infrastructure for agile innovation, because it enables companies to have their own space to basically create the whole innovation process on one platform and to collaborate with their ecosystem on the various steps of an innovation process. This platform can be individualized to a company's needs and especially their look and feel, because we know that innovation is quite a matter of identity for many corporations as well, and has to be integrated in internal systems. So our platform, innosabi Crowd, is highly adaptable, but at the same time, of course, it's a standardized cloud product that is continuously improved and updated, and it stays updatable, is that a word? Even when it's even when it's adapted to your needs. This platform, we are happy to give you a demonstration online. You can go to our website and you find the button to request a demo. And we're happy to do a screen sharing, or if you're in the area, come to our office. If you're close, we come to your office and we present our platform to you, and are happy to discuss how it could work in your environment as well. As a little side note on this, this is our first webcast in English, but it's part of our effort to make more content available for our international audience. So this is why on our website you find quite a lot of content in English as well, but right now the main focus of the language focus right now is in German. So whenever you go to our English website and you might feel that there might be more content that you want from us, or you might feel that, you know, that it's not completely translated yet, please just write us a quick message and we get back to you, because we do have quite a lot of content in English and are happy to share it with you whenever we can. So in the beginning, I promised to let you know a little bit more about our company as well, about innosabi, which is the company behind all the software we just talked about and behind the case studies that I presented to you. We are a rather young company, founded in 2010 by 4 founders who are all alumni of the TU Munich. And but today we are 35 employees, and we're still based in Munich. And we do all of our software development in-house here in Munich as well. That's quite important to us, because, you know, this is our the platform and the software really is the core of what we do and what we're passionate about. And of course, we want to develop that in our own team as well. We do it with quite an intense and distinguished the innovation culture, let's say, corporate culture at innosabi. We do celebrate, you know, our nerdiness together with quite a lot of coffee and quite amazing environment here in Munich. So if you want to come by and share a cup of coffee with us in our office in Munich, we're happy to do so with you. We all, I think, I just recently talked to many in our team about why they work at innosabi. Like, I just asked them, you know, what's the reason you're here? What's the reason you get out of bed in the morning? And each and every single one of them told me that they're passionate about what they do and all of them for a different reason. You know, some of them say, oh, I feel that we as consumers need to have more influence. We need to have a voice in times of social media. Others say, oh, I'm just really passionate about the future of our society. Like, where are we developing? Where do we want to go? And others say, you know, by working with the large corporations in the way we do and creating their future, and working on the concept of self-driving cars with an automobile manufacturer and on creating new insurance concepts, they feel they really have an impact on our society in a much larger way than if we would work, you know, directly at one of these problems. But we help them to basically, we help large corporations to come to create a future that is really good for our society. And I think these are many different aspects of what drives us as a team, and also me personally as a founder of the company. And when you get in touch with us, you'll see, you know, everybody at innosabi is here because we feel that we can change the world for a little better because of what we do. And we do that in collaboration with quite a lot of different companies, and that's what makes it so exciting. You know, if you look at who are our clients, they really come from all industries. Could be consumer goods, could be insurance, could be industry, could be automobile, could be chemistry, energy, but all of them have the same challenge, and that really is how to be successful in a much faster paced world of the digital transformation. And by working with so many amazing different companies, we at innosabi are able to kind of see patterns of how they are solving these challenges and how they're successful in doing so. And then we can take these learnings and put them back in our software to help our clients to be more successful in this. So if you want to stay in touch with us after this webcast, we have several opportunities for you to do so. I already mentioned the opportunity to get a quick demo of our platform. On the left-hand side on the slide, you can see where you can sign up for it, but it's actually quite easy to find on our website as well. So the second thing is that we have written a book, and we are happy to send you a free copy after this webcast. Just write us an email at CSI, which stands for crowdsourced innovation, at innosabi.com. And also we are sending out innosabi quarterly as a means to inform you about the recent developments in the field of crowdsourced innovation. And if you want to stay in touch with us, feel free to sign up for it. Right now, I want to quickly show you the book I talked about. Oh, it's a little hard to see. Let me see if I can. Yeah, perfect. I feel like one of those beauty bloggers. You see the book, and you actually can get a free copy if you write to us at csi@innosabi.com. We're actually writing a second book right now, which is going to be black. Maybe that's more easy to show, because the first one, the white one, is about kind of the operational side of crowdsourced innovation, how to make it successful in the daily doing. The second edition will focus more on the general principles of agility and what is actually changing in business environments right now. Lastly, this webcast has been basically a first introduction to what is crowdsourced innovation, who is innosabi, how can you work with us. But once in a quarter, we offer more in-depth webcasts about methodologies and principles. And there have already been quite some webcasts, 6 of them, and you see they are in German. So maybe if you speak German, or you have some friends who can help you translate, or you just call us and we tell you about it in English. But there have been 6 already that basically introduce the principles of crowdsourced innovation, that show how the processes work in onboarding, for example, on how to come to a new platform. And the next edition will deal with the KPIs of how to measure the success of a platform. And maybe you can go back to the slide for 1 second, because I forgot the date when it will actually take place. And you're happy to, we're happy to invite you to that. Now we can see it, 14th of September. And the method to join this masterclass webcast is exactly the same as how you did today. You just go on our website and it's live and you can see it. But of course, the 6 earlier ones are also there as a recording, and you can watch them after this one. So I'm very thankful that you watched today. Thank you for tuning in and watching this webcast about crowdsourced innovation and about innosabi. We'd be happy to stay in touch with you. Reach out to us if you want to discuss further, if you want to get a demonstration, if you want to get a book, or if you just want to get the slides and the videos of this webcast. And I hope that we hear from each other soon, maybe with a cup of coffee. I wish you a good day and say goodbye. Ciao.